Hi there, Telltale. Thomas from California. Had to try to call earlier, but my phone messed up. Anyway, I just wanted to ask you a question relating to the trans community, and if you, what is it? And it's, what do you have to say about pink pilling? Do you think it's a real prevalent issue in the community, or do you think it's been overblown? I just wanted to hear what you have to say about it. Anyway, love the show. Keep doing good. See you later.
That's an interesting question. And it's a complicated one because I didn't actually know what pink pilling was at first. I had to look it up. Okay, so my understanding is it's kind of a turf thing where it's feminists who exclude trans people. And that's why I'm assuming this person was talking about trans people in relation to the pink pill thing. It's an interesting question because it really boils down to, for me, is feminism only intended to help women, or is it intended to help everybody? Is it about equality of the sexes, or is it about women? I am a single father. I've been a single father for like a really long time, raising a daughter. I have been to playgrounds with her naturally and had the cops called on me because I am a dude at a playground. Some may say that's like a men's rights issue. And I would agree. That's wrong, right? I mean, that's straight up wrong. Men aren't allowed to bring their kid to a playground without having the cops called on them. Like, that's absurd. But when you think about it, it's in a lot of ways also a feminist issue. The idea is women should be the caretakers, right? They should be the ones taking care of the babies and taking them to playgrounds and feeding them, and the men should be the ones working and providing for the family and everything. It's a very toxic ideology in a lot of ways, but it's not just a men's rights issue, although it is that. It's also a women's rights issue. So the whole pink pilling thing, as he described it here, as far as I understand it, it relates to TERFs and people being feminists but excluding men from that umbrella. I feel like feminism, for me personally, is looking out for everybody equally. It should be, at the very least. It should be. All of these issues kind of interconnect with each other in a lot of ways. I mean, I should be able to bring my daughter to a playground without worrying about that kind of shit, right? Like, how crooked is that? How fucked up is society that I can't bring my daughter to a playground? Seriously. Let me give you guys a little bit of background on YouTube and how I got where I am and my beliefs and feelings on things as I came up, okay? Before I even started YouTube, I was a young atheist, and I was watching these other YouTubers, like just other YouTubers, just atheist and skeptic YouTubers. I was watching their content, right? For a while, they were getting into atheistic content, which is what I felt like I needed at the time. But eventually, they started moving in kind of a like an anti-SJW direction, and really largely stopped talking about atheism for the most part. Like, they were all talking about SJWs and stuff. And I followed them there at first. I was with them at first on these subjects. But as time went on, I started to see that they weren't using the same type of skepticism in this situation that they applied to atheism. And I felt like they were maybe blowing the situation out of proportion a little bit at the time. I mean, it's been a long time since I've seen these videos, so don't fault me if I'm wrong on this. That was my impression at the time, okay? So I felt like nobody was really like talking about atheism, and that is why I got into YouTube. That's why I started my channel in the first place, because I felt like no one else was talking about atheism. I was going to be the one to talk about it. Eventually, I decided that I wasn't going to talk about SJW and anti-SJW issues because there was enough of that at the time, and I didn't need to add my voice to it. There were plenty already. But I felt like there was a lot of like absurdity in that section of the internet. Like, SJWs and anti-SJWs were, at that time, 4 years ago, being completely obnoxious and outrageous and not applying skepticism to pretty much anything they talked about. It was just black and white thinking on each end of the spectrum, and I thought it was absolutely ridiculous. And to this day, that's what I think. SJWs and anti-SJWs are completely outrageous, both. And I've talked about this in videos before. That being said, I see things like this. Only males are appointed as elders and ministerial servants with the God-given responsibility to care for the flock of God. In the Christian congregation, the headship is given to baptized males. I see things like that, and I'm like, obviously, undeniably, religion pushes this idea of a patriarchy. Now, just calm down. Just sit down. Don't turn the video off yet. Don't hit the pause button yet, please. Just bear with me. I said a word that upsets you. I know that. But let me explain my reasons for it. Patriarchy. Okay? That is a political term that is legitimate and has a political definition. A system of society or government in which men hold the power and women are largely excluded from it. That would be the definition that we're working with here. Christian religion in the U.S. is largely patriarchal. I know that word upsets a lot of people here, but that's what it is. Especially Jehovah's Witnesses. It's a patriarchal organization. It's a patriarchal hierarchy, if you will. And that is an issue that we need to deal with. So when I left religion, when I left Jehovah's Witnesses, I could clearly see that in that religion, women are oppressed. Okay? That's another buzzword I know a lot of people don't like, oppressed. Bear with me. Women are oppressed in these religions, and we need to look at that and address it and understand why that's happening and try to stop it. Because I am for equality of the sexes. Earlier, I was talking about how I have had the cops called on me for bringing my daughter to a playground. I am sick of seeing religion and other types of groups, not just religious groups, political groups, and all kinds of other groups, oppressing people. There are some out there that oppress men. There are some out there that oppress women. There are some out there that oppress Mexicans or any, you name it. There are groups out there who are trying to destroy certain people. And it's unacceptable. I want equality of everybody. So, anyway, that's my take on it. That's where I came from with YouTube. And that's why I actually do call myself a feminist in a recent video I did on the subject about a year ago. I think I talked about it. You guys should give that a look. I just want to tell you guys, I don't call myself an SJW. I just want to clarify this point real quick. I am not an SJW, and I'm not an anti-SJW either. I am an advocate for social justice. There is a distinction for me. I'm not a men's rights activist. I'm not an MRA, quote unquote. I am an advocate for men's rights. I feel like I need to make that super clear. There's a lot of baggage that comes along with the term SJW and men's rights activist and all the other stuff. I just want everybody to understand that I'm not trying to take that baggage on, and I don't identify as those things. I mean, I've pretty much made my positions clear. I think you guys understand that I don't believe in black and white thinking. I try to see nuance in every situation. So, yeah.